on room, so when they charge,
You wanna get behind me?
be like Franklin Harrison trying to get under the desk.
Yeah.
That guy did not want to shoot that.
No. Listen. If he wanted to, he could.
Yep.
Might need it, we gonna be here. So, probably not. Oh, man.
Yep.
When it started.
Call this Monday, August 4th, 2025, Washington County Planning Commission meeting to order. If you would stand with me for the invocation and pledge. Mr. Hagan.
Let's pray. Eternal God, you've been good to us and we're mindful of that. We thank you for the beauty of this day that we've been able to enjoy and your handiwork that we've been able to enjoy. We thank you that you've chosen to water the earth again, and we thank you for blessings of life. We ask tonight now your special blessing on this board. Let us do those things that's pleasing to you in our life that would bring you honor and glory, and for the best interest of our county. Get yourself the glory in all of that. Amen.
Mr. Pike.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Call this Monday, August
liberty
4th,
and justice for all.
2025, Washington County Planning Commission meeting to order. If you would stand with me for the invocation.
District 1, Roger Hagan.
Here.
District 2, Richard Gundy.
Here.
District 3, Michelle Cook,
That's right.
excused. District 4,
Eternal
Carl
God,
Owens,
you've been good to us
excused.
and we're mindful of that.
District
We thank
4,
you for the
Jarrett
beauty of
Pygott.
this day
Here.
that we've been able to enjoy
School Board Representative
and
Kyle
your
Newsom.
handiwork
Here.
that we've been able to enjoy.
Member at Large Chairman
Thank
John
you that
Gay,
you've chosen to
excused.
water
Don
the
McDonald,
earth.
County Planner.
Thank you for blessing
Jen
our
Frank,
lives.
Planning Assistant,
We
present.
ask tonight now
Matthew
your
Q.
special
Quay, County
blessing on
Attorney.
this board. Let us do those things that's pleasing to you in our life that would bring you honor and glory, and for the best interest of our
Next item we have
Get
is
yourself the glory
the
in all of that.
agenda approval. Any amendments to that? Nope.
I pledge
Chair will
allegiance
entertain a
to the
motion.
flag of the United States of America
Have a first and a
and to the
second. Roll call,
republic
please.
for which it stands,
District 1, Roger Hagan.
one nation,
District 2, Richard Gundy.
Yes. Call this Monday,
District 3,
August
Michelle Cook,
4th,
excused.
2025.
District 4, Carl Owens, excused.
Washington
District
County
5, Jarrett
Planning
Pygott.
Commission
Yes.
meeting to order.
School Board Representative
Would
Kyle
stand with
Newsom.
me,
Yes.
Member at Large Chairman Roger Hagan.
Here.
District 2, Richard Gundy.
Next item
District 3,
is
Michelle Cook,
approval of the
excused.
minutes.
District 4, Carl Owens,
God, you've been good to us
excused.
and we're mindful of that.
District 4, Jarrett Pygott.
Here.
We've been able to
Second.
School Board Representative Kyle
Motion second.
Newsom.
Roll call,
Here.
please.
Member at Large Chairman John Gay,
Yes.
excused. Don McDonald, County Planner.
Yes.
District 3, Michelle Cook, present. District 4, Carl Owens, excused. District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom.
Yes.
Member at Large Chairman John Gay,
Next item we
excused.
have is the agenda approval. Any item number 7, old business. Nope. None? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion. Then we'll move on to new business.
Second.
Have a first and a second. Roll call, Madam Planner.
District 1, Roger Hagan. District 2, Richard Gundy.
Yes. Call this Monday,
District 3,
August
Michelle Cook,
4th,
excused. District 4,
2025.
Carl Owens, excused. District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Good evening,
Yes.
Commissioners.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom.
Yes.
Member at Large
How's that?
Chairman
Can you
Roger
hear me?
Hagan. District 2, Richard Gundy.
Next item
District 3,
is
Michelle Cook,
approval of the
excused.
minutes.
District 4, Carl Owens,
Yeah.
excused. District 4, Jarrett Pygott.
Here. Second.
School Board Representative Kyle
Second.
Newsom.
Roll call,
Here.
please.
Member at Large Chairman John Gay,
Yes.
excused. Don McDonald, County Planner.
Yes.
District 3, Michelle Cook, present. District 4, Carl Owens, excused.
You're not gonna be able to
District
hear
5,
me.
Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom.
Yes.
Member at Large Chairman John Gay,
Next item we
excused.
have is the agenda approval. Item number 7, old business. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion. Then we'll move on to new business.
Second.
First and second. Roll call, Madam Planner.
District 1, Roger Hagan. District 2, Richard Gundy.
Yes. Call this Monday,
District 3,
August
Michelle Cook,
4th,
excused. District 4, Carl Owens, excused. District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Good evening,
Yes.
School
Commissioners.
Board Representative Kyle Newsom.
Yes.
Member at Large
How's that?
Chairman
Can you
Roger
hear me?
Hagan. District 2, Richard Gundy.
Next item
District 3,
is
Michelle
approval
Cook,
of the
excused.
minutes.
District 4, Carl Owens,
Yeah.
excused. District 4, Jarrett Pygott.
How's this?
Second.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom.
Any better?
Member
Nope.
District 1 Roger John Gage. District 2 Richard Claire.
Yes.
District 3 Michelle Sutton is present. District 4 Carl Owens excused.
You're not gonna be able to
District 5 Jared Pigott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Mason.
Yes.
Member at Large Chairman John Gage.
Yeah, you're not gonna, nobody's gonna be able to hear us.
Old business.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Good good evening, commissioners and the visitors, guests, and staff. And we have one case for you this evening, and it is a proposal with a special exception paired with a,
It's playing the background.
See if is the mic still working?
hello?
There
Yes.
we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Tonight's case has a proposal for a special exception and also a major development review application. And there are two requests for you, and tonight you'll be making a recommendation.
Not that one. The ones above that.
You can't click on the right side. It don't let you do that. Yeah, right there. Click on that.
Give us 1 second, please.
We're having technical difficulties.
Yeah, that should be. See it on there? It's,
Hello.
she definitely added it today. I don't know. Right. She went to go get it. Flash drive. I know.
All the PowerPoints, we have to have this one.
Okay.
This one we have to have. Usually I just go ahead and go through and just go through with it, but not this one. This one we have to have it.
Yeah, it was on there this afternoon. She uploaded it before 4 o'clock. I did, yeah, I logged in and looked. It was still there.
You double checked the last time it disappeared.
On
Right.
that one. No, checked on that one.
Well, it's online on the Diligent and the agenda should be on there.
Close that out. and go through the PowerPoint.
Pause that recording.
You know how to fix that? I guess so.
At least we'll get overtime. What's that, free? Oh, man.
Next time we can
And
see
the
that.
good thing is, it's about 27
Now,
hours.
look at so it's not on the way.
Yeah. Still don't know if it's gonna be helpful, huh? There was a big article today that he was saying that there is, that it's helping. I guess he was, you know, the analysts have nothing. Healthy or unhealthy. Well, I don't think, man, I think Anthony Richardson got hurt and went out on the bench. I don't think this guy's like that. That's true.
I don't see anything in the making.
But they, like, they was around Florida and said, hey, kid, go sit down. You're like, oh, I hurt my hand. Go sit down. I don't know.
Oh, does she have a key?
I don't know if he's,
Okay.
I don't watch NFL, so I don't know if he's done it.
Have a chance to stay healthy. You got the money now, why won't you?
matter, you won't get over it.
This is a shame.
Do we have to have the,
PowerPoint.
what?
Log in.
Yeah, it seems pretty crazy. Who knows? I shouldn't figure out why we got the toughest schedule again.
And the PowerPoint's a Word document, I mean,
Really can't catch a break.
Microsoft document.
Do we not update our Microsoft
It's like a weekend.
We used to have Joe Rutherford, he said, what do you do? Don't update your.
Yeah.
Well, this is an omen to the evening.
Yeah. We can proceed.
We don't have to have the.
It's online, people can see it.
We got it, but the cover on.
The narrative will work.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the internet at King's going down every day. We must have AT&T.
You got any hay?
No. I'm in trouble, I think.
I was. I'm not as dependent on it as you will, I know, but, I was my first cut last week.
Did it get wet?
No, you know, we had about 3 days, well, it was the end of the week before last, now we had about 3 more days. Tommy Carter, we had hash, I got the land and the fertilizer.
Okay.
And he's got the equipment.
Yeah.
The expertise. And, I put out 3 tons of fertilizer on that about, probably in April, just before it predicted rain. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Lay there April and May and all that drying, most of the fertilizer. And then we didn't have any rain, so
There we go.
I told her to pray for rain and pray for rain. Now, it was just
Tom cuts my hair too.
All right.
Thank
got
you.
going?
Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
It rarely happens, but it happens. Okay, and your first case is a special exception request with a major development review application. Yep. Yeah, this hasn't been working. So tonight, that is the vertical bridge, the Rex and Wanda Bush Tower, and the request is for a special exception to place a cellular communications or wireless tower and a wireless facility on the property. And that's in the agriculture, silviculture land use. And the major development review application is for the actual construction of the tower on the site. And you can see it's located in central portion of the county. And James McNichol is the authorized representative, and Mr. McNichol is here this evening. And the property is approximately 75 acres. And as you can see, it's on either side of Gilbert's Mill Road, but the tower is going to be located on the northern portion of the property. And here's the future land use map, and as you can see, the properties surrounding the site are agriculture, silviculture. And that's the light green. The dark green is conservation. And just to the north is Alfred Road. And here is the survey, or this is just a survey of the site, and this is where the tower facility would be located. And within your packets and the plans, there were actual setbacks included. And this is the first tower that's meeting our recent change to the code where setbacks are to be a minimum of the height of the tower. So from the property lines to the tower, they should be, in this case, at least 195 feet from the property boundary lines. And the plans are for a 195-foot tower. And so it's a self-supporting tower, and at the base of the tower, you'll have your support equipment cabinets and generators. And this site is actually going to have space for 2 additional carriers for the future so that the site will allow co-location. So antennas and cabinets could be included for 2 more carriers on this site. And here's an elevation of the tower. We met our public noticing requirements. And we held a neighborhood information meeting on July 17. We had 19 attendees, and all were very opposed to this project. And they had the following comments and concerns, and the authorized representative, Mr. McNichol, did provide additional information and answers to the questions that we couldn't answer that evening. And one of the major comments was, why can't the cell tower be moved to the center of the property rather than on the edge of the property? And the authorized representative stated that the project will meet county setbacks, and where it would be preferable to move, there are some wetlands and floodplain on the property, and we'd want them to avoid that. And with the current location of the tower, that is met, and those areas are avoided. But the site was selected, according to the authorized representative, based on soil samples and geotechnical information. So engineering, access, and environmental considerations were taken into account. Another concern was the tower would be seen by everyone from where they live. The site, with 75 acres and a buffer of natural vegetation around it, should help with the screening. And according to authorized representative, the profile of the tower should make it least the type of design should make it one of the least visually intrusive options available. Another major concern of the attendees and the neighbors was, what about exposure from radiation from the tower? And if we were requiring the applicant to provide a study regarding this. And according to the authorized representative, that the Federal Communications Commission guidelines that local governments cannot deny or delay tower applications based on emissions that comply with federal standards. And the FCC has the jurisdiction over this. And so local governments and Vertical Bridge, the company that would be that is authorized to represent Verizon in this case, are not authorized to offer compensation based on speculative impacts that fall under federal regulatory authority. Another issue is noise from the backup generators. And because of the dense tree cover and the distance from the nearby homes, this should be minimal, negligible. Environmental assessment, what about impacts to wildlife or environmental concerns? And the applicant mentioned that there's a NEPA requirement. Any federal permits require in-depth study that include environmental, historical, and other I should have made this type much larger. So but they look at it as part of the federal permits. There has to be a thorough assessment of a site, and We did post the NEPA study on our website, and there's not likely to adversely affect any federally based species or designated critical habitat. And I think avoiding the floodplains and wetlands contributes to that. One question was the tower 4G or 5G? And the tower will be 5G. Have the applicants completed a needs study? Yes, the authorized representative said that a needs analysis was conducted. Propagation maps are provided, and there is a justification in study, and we have that available to show you, and if the authorized representative would like to present that. Residents in the area feel like they have to bear the cost of this tower for the rest of the county. They are not in favor of a cell tower. They already have cell service, and they feel like they are being asked to accept the cell tower when they don't need it or want it. And the authorized representative stated that the tower placement is driven solely by network performance needs, specifically where coverage or capacity is lacking. It's not influenced by demographics, income levels, rural or urban status. It's just the towers are built where they're needed. Another comment was that the county government overlooks this area of the county. One comment was that roads were paved everywhere else. And I was able to look into this, and apparently some years ago, the Kent Road was scheduled for paving and some improvements, but the county was unable to secure the right-of-way to allow this to happen. And so funds for that project were moved to Alford Road, and that's where that was a resurfacing project that was recently completed, and that was by permission of Florida Department of Transportation. One thing that was mentioned at the meeting was that there was a canal sewer on Kent Road, and the only thing we could think of that this could be, so if anyone that said this or knows about this could help us, but there is a reclaimed water line that travels through this area, and it's from the city of Chipley to the Chipley spray field on Pike Pond Road. And the pipe is not visible, but there are manhole covers that are visible. So I was concerned and brought this up to other staff members because we wouldn't want sewer running through the neighborhoods and through this area. So that's the only thing that we could think of, unless there's some stormwater or some ditches in the area. And when there's development in the county that no one wants, the residents in this county are being asked to accept it. And the applicant's representative stated, he can't speak to the county's broader development policies, but we're committed to transparency and community engagement throughout the process. And for me, just since I've been here, the past 6 years, we've only had a future land use map change in this area. I think it was to add an additional unit to a property. I think it was to residential low from ag. But other than that, I can't think of anything, if you all can, that's happened where there's been development proposed here. With co-location, there was concern that by being able to add or having additional carriers on the property or in the wireless facility, that would be too dense and create more development on the site. And the applicant's rep stated that it's true that additional carriers could co-locate on the tower site, but this reduced the need for additional towers in the area and provides residents with more service options from different carriers. And so our county code doesn't have limitations on the number of towers or distance between towers. And so we promote and encourage co-location where it's possible, but it's not always possible. And so new towers are required where there's no service or areas lacking in service. And another question was if the county had denied any towers, and since I've been here, we have not. Not all the towers have been for commercial carriers, however. Some have been for public emergency communications, and also for our internet broadband towers. And that's the county, the internet broadband project that we've been working on since 2020, 2021. And another comment was that cell towers should not be placed in rural areas. They should be placed in urban areas instead. And towers, according to the authorized representative, must be placed where service is needed. Limiting towers to urban areas would leave large portions of the county without reliable wireless coverage. And I think the towers that we've approved are either required because, of our new towers I'm talking about, because there's needed service or lacking service. And our land development code actually may make it more challenging to site towers in urban areas. Co-location may work, but with setbacks and the requirements for vegetative buffers, it may be more difficult to locate adjacent to urban areas. And the county should place the tower on its own property. That was one comment. The authorized representative stated that the county may host towers on its property from time to time, but the demand for wireless infrastructure cannot be met solely through public lands. Private property partnerships are essential to meeting these network needs. The county has internet broadband towers. They're 180 foot in height. They're monopole towers, self-supporting, and we do have these in county parks and other previously developed county properties. So we've reused some of our vacant properties to place the internet broadband towers. So we have done that in the past few years. And also more recently, we are working with private property owners and what we call private host sites. And so we're locating our internet broadband towers on private property with the property owner's approval. And tonight you would be making a recommendation to the board regarding allowing the use of the tower on the property and for final approval of the development application. And a Board of County Commissioners meeting would be the final decision on August 21st. And staff recommends approval, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. And again, more technical questions, the authorized representative is here to speak.
You have any questions for Madam Planner right now?
I'll have one at some point in time. You want to do an hour carrying presentations?
Whenever you like.
Ms. McDonald, I have a couple of questions. At one time, we had voted, and I believe the county had approved this, that all the towers, that's got to be where that's our biggest, one of our biggest requests is for tower locations and things like that, probably several times a year. At one time, we had it where that any towers that were being built, that there was a spot reserved for county use on those towers. Are we still doing that?
Yes, sir, that would be part of the development order.
So on this application and others that we've received this year, there's a spot for EMS, sheriff, county road department, any public use.
Yes, sir, that's continued.
And the other one, and we may need to discuss this, and you can hold it until we've heard from the public, if you want to, or heard from the chairman. But last month, or 2 months ago, we denied an application primarily on the feelings of the surrounding community. And that was the reason that we recommended denial. But here we have the surrounding community again with negative feelings, and we're recommending approval. A few months ago, probably a year ago now, Mrs. Cook and I voted against a development request because of the feelings of the neighborhood, and we were overridden and said we probably didn't have standing in that. I'm just still concerned. 3 or 4 times, it seemed like we did this way one time and another way the next time. And I'm concerned about us sending mixed signals to
the public and to the developers. If Group A over here, they don't want something next to them, but we do it, and Group B over here doesn't want something next to them and we don't do it, I think there's some clarification there, or we need to have a little more, standard approach to those things. And we can approach that, we can discuss that when you're ready, but that is a concern of mine.
Thank you, Madam Planner. Mr. McNeil?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is James McNichol. I'm here this evening representing the Towers LLC Vertical Bridge on behalf of Rex and Wanda Bush. I'm an experienced real estate specialist. Over the past 25 years, I've provided professional services in connection with the development of hundreds of wireless telecommunication facilities in various jurisdictions throughout the United States. If it pleases the chairman, I have a short presentation to assist with the review of our request to construct a 195-foot wireless telecommunications tower. All right. Our client has a contract with the federal government to provide wireless services to the residents of Washington County, Florida. The Telecommunications Act of 1996 has established that the development of wireless services is crucial to the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the United States. Over the past months, we've worked closely with county staff to ensure that our proposed development embraces the county's planning objectives. The proposed wireless telecommunication facility will provide new wireless service coverage and increased capacity to the residents of Washington County while enhancing the local E911 emergency call system. The proposed wireless telecommunication facility has been designed to accommodate the co-location of additional wireless service providers through added structural capacity and excess ground space for additional ground equipment. That kind of concludes what I had to say here, but I think there was conversation about wanting to see the RF package and run through that. Can we do that real quick, Donna? Do you have access to that RF package on your screen? Right. So one of the things that you guys required was RF justification, or justification that the tower is needed. And I think this might be something that's kind of important for everybody to see. And I can explain. It's the bottom one on that link there. Yep, there you go. All right, and if you scroll down to the maps, effectively, okay, that basically gives you a picture of where the proposed site, obviously in the middle. And then the blue sites are the existing towers where Verizon is currently transmitting from. So if you're using a Verizon phone in the area currently, your signal is coming from one of those blue spots, and the yellow spot is the proposed new site. Now, if we scroll down just a little bit to the next one here, this should be the area's existing coverage. And when we look at this from an RF perspective, or an RF being radio frequency, so there's radio frequency engineers that have these models and they're reviewing this constantly. And they have, it not only looks at the terrain, heavy wooded areas, hills, taking all that stuff into account, but it also imports the data from where drop calls, where people have had problems, things like that. All that is incorporated into these models. And you can see the transmission from the blue, and where you see the green, in layman's terms, green would be able to talk in your house. You'd be able to use your phone inside your car, in your house, that sort of thing. When it gets to yellow, that's where you're kind of, okay, I can't talk inside my car. I got to get outside the car, outside the house. I got to stand in the driveway to talk. And then when it gets to red, the phone is picking up signal from the tower, but very likely the phone is struggling to get signal back to the tower. So any conversation you have is going to be spotty and not good. So then if you look at the area in the middle where the proposed tower is there, you see all the white in there. That's where your phone, if you're on Verizon, is not even picking up any signal at all. So then if you go to the next slide, this one actually shows what the area would look like, with the proposed tower functioning and in place. And I think staff thought that was important for everybody to see, so I wanted to go ahead and point that out while I was here. Outside of that, can I answer any questions for anybody?
When's the rest of the Y going to be covered? Are we to expect another tower in the
Yes.
coming year?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say within a year. It may take, I have no idea how long it's taken to get this coverage, together. I will tell you guys in general terms, and bear in mind, I'm one guy that works in a big group of a lot of stuff going on. But you guys will have multiple towers in Washington County in the next 6 months. There's at least 2 others in the county that I'm working on personally that I know will be coming before you guys very quickly, but none of them is in that other white area. And that white area, I'm not familiar with exactly what it looks like. It might be in like an unpopulated, wooded area, but if anybody lives in that area, I would tell you that the coverage will come eventually, but probably in the form of a tower that's a little further north and a little further west from the one that we're proposing, to try to fill that gap in that hole. But I have no idea when that might happen,
What kind of radius or square mile or circumference does a single tower cover?
So in general terms, the towers have the ability to broadcast a pretty large area. But the way to think about it is the phone that everybody carries in their pocket is the limiting factor, right? So any conversation that you have, anything you do is bi-directional, so it has to go in both directions. And the phone that we all carry in our pocket is limited on how far it can get back to the tower to do its part. So in general terms, we think about it, if you're in, flat area, you might get 5-6 miles, from a tower and still have some functionality. If you're in heavily wooded area and rolling hills, that sort of thing, it would be considerably less. And again, there's lots of different ways to think about it. We all, most of us probably grew up thinking about talking on the phone, was our big thing. Well, in the current world, talking on the phone is less than 1% of what that cell tower does. The rest of it is data, internet, videos, everything that everybody is uploading, moving, doing, and all that requires much more dense population of towers. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of them. It's just a matter of time, before they get everywhere. And you do have to think about it in general terms. The basics of it is E911. That's the one that comes to mind for most people. Most everybody makes. I read some statistic the other day that said something like 97% of all 911 calls now are being made from, a cell phone. Nobody's picking up a landline to make a 911 call anymore. So you see an accident, you have an accident, you see anything like that, all that's being done on the cell phone. Nobody's going and finding a landline, to do that with. So when you've got those, those white areas, it is something to think about,
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll entertain public comments. I'll remind you that your comments are limited to 3 minutes, and we'll go from there. So, anybody like to speak? Go ahead.
May I?
Yes, sir. If you'll come up to the podium and state your name and address, please.
I would ask, sir, my name is Alan Foran. I would ask if you would put that
Address,
map
please.
back up, please, that you just had, if you don't mind.
Mr. Ford, if you'll state your address also, please.
Sir,
Your address,
2029 Gilbert Mill Road.
thank you.
Okay, now, this is in correlation with the map that the young lady here put up a few minutes ago. You keep telling us this is all in the center. You say this is in the center of those 4 dots. You said this was in the central part of the county. You put a picture of the map of the county up. It is not in the center. You said it was on the northern end of this property. It's on the southeastern end of the property. You said it will be in an
Sir, if
area
you'll
where
address
it's
the,
away.
if you'll address the board
I'm
and not
sorry.
her.
You said it will be in an area where it won't be, where it has the trees. It's almost out at the road, at the intersection there where Archie Sapp Road runs into Gilbert Mill. The trees are very minimal. The Hurricane Michael destroyed what timber was there. What's left is leaning in a manner of this that's not even merchantable timber. Now, my other question too would be, the gentleman said that the phone service should be able to cover and reach one of these towers, I believe he said 5 or 6 miles. Then how many towers is that gonna require to get coverage in this county? Are we gonna have one where every one of us can stand out in the yard and say, hey, I can see your tower today? 5 or 6 miles? I have one more question too. One of the carriers intended to put a tower there on Alford Road, go one dirt road east, which would be, I can't remember the name of the road. It was denied. It's 1/2 mile from this side. I failed to see the difference in that side and this side. That was even a larger acreage tract that it could, if we had to have one, also a higher elevation. But it is, if we can't sit right here as citizens and see that that's not in the center, come on. And then when you asked him how many miles that tower would be able to cover, he gave you a vague answer. He said it should increase it considerably. He didn't tell you how far. He didn't answer the question. He's in that line of work. That's his occupation. Even us layman people, we could see that. And as far as the land goes, the agriculture, there are many of us in here that are related. Our ancestors worked, some of them I know, for $2 a day to pay for that agricultural land that some of us will cherish and hand on to our future generations. We didn't try to develop it. We could have sold it many times. I get a letter at least a month someone wanting to buy my farm. It's not for sale. You know why? Because it has pride is built into that land. And I also have one more statement to make. We're a rural county. We're rural people here. We cherish our way of life and where we live. We do without the extended services the rest of the county receives. And that would not be hard to pull up documentation. A simple picture on a cell phone would show you. But I would like for you to understand that we're hometown. And sir, I would like for you to understand, a lot of us trade with you. You're a hometown small business. And to tell you we don't appreciate you and we don't enjoy trading with you, I just left your building a few minutes ago. So I say thank you for that, but we look at that also.
Sure.
So I guess that's all. I mean, I'm not used to standing in front of people
understand.
talking, but it's upsetting to all of us. Well, if I made one more comment, the tract of land that the city or the county purchased down in the Pike Pond area is very desolate. There'll never be a home put in there on that large tract of land. Spray fields. What would it hurt to be in that area where there is so limited population, and the chances of that changing, you're not destroying agricultural land because the land was even too poor to grow tung oil trees. But this land where we live, I'll repeat to y'all again, is embedded in us severely. And we're proud of that.
Thank you for your
And that's
comments.
all I have to say.
Anyone else? Hold on one sec. Got one walking up.
How are y'all?
Good. And yourself?
My name's William Gilbert, 486 Alford Road. It's my dad's, Scott Gilbert, lives on Alford Road also, but we have property on Porter Road that directly adjoins this said piece of property. Now, I want to state for the record, I'm pro-capitalist and I'm pro-freedom. I don't care what you do on your property as long as it don't affect me or my family. But in this case, I'm scared it will. I did just a little bit of research. There are hundreds of top-tier publications that have published scientific studies that have shown harm from low-level wireless radiation exposure. 240 of 261 studies, which is 91%, show free radical effects resulting from low-level radiation from RFR exposure. Types of harm: increase in neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, multiple types of cancer, cardiovascular disease increased rates of diabetes, increased cases of chromosome diseases, increase in DNA damage. I can't read the word that comes before that. Neuropsychiatric effects. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure I don't want any of it. And sperm damage. Multiple studies show that the radiation from the cell towers are harmful to the pollinators, which is the honeybees. Now, this piece of property is zoned agriculture, but we're going to put something on it that's harmful to the #1 help for agriculture in the United States, which is the honeybee. That don't make a whole lot of sense. From Verizon's own 2022 10K report, this is a quote from their own report. Our wireless business also faces personal injury and wrongful death lawsuits relating to alleged health care effects of wireless phones and radio frequency transmitters. We may incur significant expenses in defending these lawsuits and may be required to pay significant awards and settlements. That's a direct quote from their own report. Property values from the same, and I have all my references if y'all are interested in where I got these numbers from when I'm through. Impact of cell phone towers on home prices in residential neighborhoods. Studies show some home buyers would pay as much as 20% less for houses close to powerful cell phone towers. If your home or property is near a cell tower, your property value will drop at a minimum 4%. That comes from my research. I don't know if y'all have done any. It also, the radioactive discharge from the tower damages trees, and the property zoned as silviculture, which is the science of growing trees. Studies show the tree damage from cell tower radiation. This is a quote from the study. Statistical analysis demonstrated electromagnetic radiation from mobile phone mast towers is harmful to trees. These results are consistent with the fact that damage inflicted on trees by mobile phone towers start on one side of the tree and then extend over to the other side over time until the complete tree dies. Now, we got another study on the adverse effects of the 5G, which is worse than the 4G, which we had. Skin effects, burning skin with rashes, radiation gets absorbed by your epidermis and your dermis layer of the skin. Radiation emitted by a 5G base station will be 10 to 100 times greater than 4G. Nobody mentioned that. A cellular antenna mounted in 5G network near parks, streets, homes will create a huge electromagnetic field exposure area as compared to 4G. Pulse EMF has even more harmful effects. Irritation, excessive stress, DNA damage, loss of sperm count, memory loss, cancer, brain tumors, and memory loss, already said it. EMF fields are even more dangerous to children. Long-term exposure increases the chance of cancer by 300%. Neurological, neuropsychiatric effects, depression, headaches, memory loss, irritation, sleep disturbance, appetite loss, dizziness, loss of vision, and cardiovascular disorder. Human gene molecules have changed by EMF radiation signals. Damages your fertility for a woman and a man. Has hormonal effects, but the main is plants and animals. You've got a piece of property zoned silviculture agriculture surrounded by other properties zoned the same, and you're putting something right smack dab in the middle of it that's going to be harmful to it and the people that live there. So, thank y'all for y'all's time.
Thank you so much. Come on.
Good afternoon, folks. Joseph Richard, 2196 Archie Sep. Couple of questions, something to think about with the cell tower. I did a study years ago. You know, I work for public utilities, and we're on bandwidth 14, so we don't get throttled down. Are you guys gonna be on bandwidth 14 with Verizon, so they don't get throttled down? In case of high usage? It's more for this gentleman here. That's one. There's devices out there called HPUEs, which are becoming more obsolete because there's newer stuff. But I can tell you, I went to a site that never had cell reception, could not do data, PDFs, emails. 20 years I worked out of that area. And I use this HPUE. I picked up a cell tower that was 200 miles away. And I was sending data and making phone calls. And to the comment that was made about landlines, people aren't using landlines anymore to call 911. Probably because they don't work. Half those cables are down. Nobody fixes them. And I do believe Verizon owns a lot of those. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Eddie Beckworth, 109 Alford Road. Definitely do not want this tower in my backyard. I'm right up next against to it. I don't want all of this exposure coming down on me. Put it out there on the county land where the wastewater is pumped to, so it won't hurt nobody. I'm definitely against this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir, in the back.
Hey guys, I've seen some of y'all already. My name is Matt Costin. I'm a newcomer to the county. I've only lived here, only 2 years. I live at 170 Kent Mill Pond Road, just south of where this proposed tower is. Granted, the FCC says, you know what, if it's unhealthy, tough, you can't stop the putting the tower in because of that. Okay, fine. Well, number one, it's gonna devalue the land. That's already been talked about. I'm not gonna beat a horse to death. Number two is, nobody wants it because we all get signal already. Nobody has any issues getting signal. I haven't seen one person say anything, well, I gotta go outside my house just to get signal or this, that, the other. Where I live is like in a hole and I still get signal. I've got AT&T and I called them and they piggyback these other towers around here and that's fine, okay? But this idea that suddenly I'm gonna call 911 and I can't get through, then no, I live in a hole and I can call 911 all the time because I've done it before already. Okay, we had a drone fly over our house. I didn't know whose it was. I wanted to know, see if it was a sheriff one. So it works. Okay, so that claim is claiming that we have to have these things because it's necessary for the survival of the people in that area. No, that's hogwash. Everything works just fine. Okay, I went around and I finally said, you know what, I'm gonna find out if my neighbors want this or not. So I did a proposal, a petition to stop the electric cell tower, okay? I drove around over Saturday and Sunday and basically got everybody's name and signature on my list here, 27 so far. And when the 21st meeting comes along, this list is gonna be a lot longer. I'll be happy to give you a copy of it, guys, but I'm gonna need it for the other meeting. And anybody wants to sign this, see me after this meeting, I would really appreciate your signatures. Okay, real quick, my background is military. I'm a communications sergeant with the 20th Special Forces Group and 5th Special Forces on active duty. Okay, 20th is Florida Guard. I spent time overseas, met my wife over there, it's a wonderful time. What he's talking about as far as the EMF energy, it is a weapon, okay? It is used as a weapon in the military right now. Your microwave oven, we've already converted that over to being used as a point projection weapon on people, okay? EMF energy is no joke. People say, oh, just put a tower up here or that. I did like the other man did. I did a bunch of research. I started looking into this. You know how many lawsuits there are right now because the schools are saying no more cell towers on our property? And they used to like, oh yeah, this would be great. We'll have a cell tower and all the kids can get on their computers and all that stuff. They find out after a couple of years the kids can't learn because this is hitting their brain. It's causing problems. Okay, and granted, again, the FCC says, well, it doesn't matter if it hurts you. It's too bad. You know, that's not going to be a reason. Well, like this gentleman said, you're a down-home community here. We love it here. The fact that everybody cares about each other, that's why we like it here. That's why we're staying here. Now, I have a special needs kid, and my wife is very sensitive. RF energy will wig both of them out, okay? And having this thing just down the street from me has got me concerned because I'm a disabled veteran. I'm living off Social Security and my disability benefits, okay? I don't have money to move again, and I don't have money to start going to a hospital and all that because my wife's head or my son's head's getting zapped and they can't eat, sleep, or do anything because of some radiation thing down the street in a zone that's not even rated for that. We're agriculture, okay? These are real life concerns that I have to face, okay, as a dad and a husband. I don't know why this even came to the table because what really, because again, we're zoned in agriculture. My question to y'all gentlemen is, how come when I go online and look at antennasearch.com, okay, they've already got this tower on the map. It's there. It's already pinpointed. It says, oh, this is what it's going to be constructed and all. It's like it's a done deal already. And I talked to some other people and they said, yeah, we'll fight it, but it's probably a done deal. It's going to happen. I'm like, we haven't even gone through the procedure yet in the county. How can it be a done deal? Well, you know, the Fed says this, the Fed says that. The Fed doesn't live in any of these people's backyards or yours. We do. We control our own destination. Okay, regardless of what the Fed says, the FCC, I don't care about them. I care about what goes on in this board and the county commissioner's board. And that's where I'm gonna make my voice heard. I'll be at that meeting as well. But I'm hoping that you guys, you know, listen to these folks because EMF energy is not a game. If you hold your cell phone, and I can't stand these things. I wish we had landlines. Oh my God, I wish we had landlines. You hold this up to your head, you're radiating your brain. You see any antenna on this thing? Remember they used to have them, they pull out, right? They don't have those anymore. The original ones, the antenna was on a RF cable, and you put it over here, and you got the heck away from it because you ain't gonna get radiated. We learned that in the military, first thing in radio school. Don't go anywhere near your antenna when you're transmitting because you're gonna fry yourself. And over a period of time, cancer, all sorts of physical problems, people's eyesight, they go blind. There's all sorts of things your body's susceptible to as far as RF energy. If you don't know about it, please, by all means, look it up, but beware. Because the corporations that are putting this stuff out are gonna tell you, oh no, it's safe, as long as it doesn't go over this wattage or that. This gentleman didn't tell you how much coverage he has. He didn't tell you how many watts are they putting out off of each antenna. Because it depends on a lot of different factors, but there's a maximum that antenna is gonna cover. But he doesn't know, because they haven't even got the antennas up yet. And they may upgrade them into something bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, wait a minute, down the road, if they go from a basic antenna that only covers so much and puts out so many watts, and they quadruple that, the surrounding people and everything around is gonna get fried over time, because that's how RF energy works, okay? So just be aware. This may seem something innocent and simple on the front, But on the other end, this is a weapon. And the Chinese are already using it. They used EMF energy against the Indian troops in a border dispute 6 years ago. They literally just said, we're gonna move the border back 2 miles. And the Indians are like, no, we're not giving you this land. They said, no, it goes back to our history. It's our land. You know what they did? They just rolled up a truck with a bunch of troops, and they had a big radiation, a microwave antenna on the back of it, and they just went, turned it on, and they sprayed all the Indian troops that they had, a whole battalion right there. They all dropped unconscious. And then the Chinese troops went over, loaded them up in trucks, moved them back to where the new border was gonna be, offloaded them, and set up their new checkpoint. And the Indian government said, okay, fine, you can have it. They backed off, because they didn't want a confrontation. But it's already been used. We have it. The police departments are looking at it for crowd control. Makes you feel like you're catching on fire, and they deny you the area. You get out of there, or you burn. But that's the seriousness of this. I know you're hearing a lot of stuff that, oh, you know, I don't like it, it may cause me problems, this and the other. No, it's real. It really is, and it is a weapon. If they crank up 5G energy to 64 watts or higher, okay, do you know that energy will penetrate your body, and your red blood cells will stop being able to use the oxygen that you have breathed into your system? If I leave you in that wavelength, you'll just collapse. You'll go unconscious. If I don't drag you out of that wavelength or turn the antenna off, you'll die. Okay, this is real stuff, and I can't believe the FCC is like he's saying, oh, it's okay, just keep doing it, keep doing it. It makes me wonder if any of this genocide agenda is really true, because that's what they're aiming at. That's what it looks like, okay? But it is real, and it is a danger, so I just want to make sure you guys know that. And again, if you guys want a copy of this, if you have a copy machine, I'll be happy to give you what I've got, but I'm gonna keep the original, and anybody here tonight, I want them to add their name to this, because I'll be at the meeting on the 21st as well. I hope you gentlemen take these folks seriously and turn it around and say, you know what? We really don't need this here. Again, everything works already. Why do we need more towers? And the idea that we're gonna have towers every so many miles, hey, that's California. That's Texas. We don't need that here. That's one reason I left those states. I won't live there, not with my family. So, anyway, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Sir? Mr. Hagan wants to know, would you repeat the name of that site again that showed the,
Shows the tower already in existence.
It's called, here, I got it on my phone.
They've also completed the
okay, hold
survey
on, 1 second.
Yeah.
on the site. It's already been surveyed. I guess they think
All
y'all
right.
gonna approve it.
You got order, sir.
Okay, sorry.
It's on top there, at the top of the phone. And that's the list of it is.
Will you be around after, I'll just get it from you after the meeting, not delay the meeting.
Yes, sir.
My name's Glenn Toole, 152 Oscar Lane, and me and my wife have raised our family there since 1973. Sorry to be emotional, but this means a lot. We live and raised our family where my parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents raised our family. And it's a close-knit community, and we're real happy. We feel like we've been forgotten with a lot that goes on in this county. We see work going on everywhere, but we don't see much there, and then all this comes along. So I'm just pleading with you to really, truly understand just what this means to this community, what it means to us. And you know, you can dress a pig up, but he's still a pig. And it's not what you see that most dangerous in, it's what you can't see. And if you really looked at this community, I'm honored to know that cousin of mine, Mr. Mike Kent, that is here, actually refused the opportunity to put the tower on his property before the Bushes were contacted. Now, you tell me that this man don't stand behind what he believes when he turned it down. So, y'all be careful. I would suggest to this committee or this board that you make a different effort on going out and see what the feelings are of the public who live in that community before you go to the trouble to have it surveyed and do all these things. It's like getting the cart ahead of the horse. You know, you should have some interpretation from the people of the community. And I'm not saying the tower's not needed. Don't know what the ill effects might be, but you don't have to look very hard or very long to be disturbed about what you can find. And thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm the youngest person here. I'd like to address the committee. My name is Jeanette Boyan. I'm well known since I've been calling so many people and opposing the cell tower. It's become very evident that people do not know about the forgotten part of the southeastern portion of Washington County. We receive basically 0 benefits. Me and my family, we pay property taxes on 500 acres of land. So I feel like we carry our weight. For 65 years, that's how much knowledge I have, that we have been promised that improvements would come to that area. Now, the county has done 0 planning for this commercial project. First of all, I don't think any of you are familiar with our community, but we have a prestigious area. It ranges from 2 large hills, prestigious hills that has numerous depressed areas, cavities, and springs. Now, we receive a lot of floodwaters. I don't think because it's dry today that it's going to continue to be dry. I want you to think back to July the 4th, what happened in Texas. Hadn't been a flood there in a long time. I've seen a lot of floods. Now, this property that we're all talking about, from Kent Road all the way back to the county line and below, we receive the waters. Nothing has been done to curtail the problem. All the waters continue back on my house and flow into the Chipola River. Now, I have 20 acres that joins this property. And what no one has mentioned here tonight is that this is in a flood area. It is in a wet area. And it has a cavity on my property. I have seen this deep cavity fill up with flood water. My mother would take me as a little girl because the water would recede out of this cavity. In other words, you may think it's unbelievable, but the bottom of this hole would open up and all the water would recede in 2 hours, leaving numerous fish fluttering there. Now, coming off the Alford Highway, if there's a flood, you can't get to this cell tower. I've seen it come and go. What I am saying to you is that it's gonna hurt, but the county has done zero planning to offset the water that is gonna affect the cell tower. Now, I'm not an intelligent person, but I have been speaking to civil engineers. Now, you need to be concerned about the ecology here. Because don't tell me that you're not going to have a deep bed of concrete. And I don't know how much that'll weigh. I don't know how much the tower will weigh. But with this area having all the depressed areas, flood area, when you go down deep into that bedrock, are you going to disturb the ecology? We haven't done all this study. We haven't had everything presented here. I speak from knowledge. I speak because I have witnessed it. And we have not addressed it here tonight, that we have done zero planning toward bringing commercial projects into that community. Now, we lay low, and you want to know why we lay low? Because if we say one word about not receiving benefits, we're retaliated against. So it's best that we stay quiet. My son mowed a section of Alford Road Saturday so I could safely pull out on the road. The road, the highway is not even maintained to go in there. It's, you know what the military's motto is? Prior planning prevents failure. Now, we've done no prior planning here except to let the developer go in, and I'm sure he feels he's done an outstanding job. But may I remind you, developers don't need to run this community or this county. You are the people. The county commissioners are elected officials. You should be running the county. Am I correct?
County commissioners should, not us.
Yeah. We only can make recommendations to the county commissioners. We don't have any voting
Sir.
power. We just make recommendations to the county.
Okay, how will you vote? Will you vote silently? Are you gonna
No,
vote?
sir, we do roll call. No, ma'am. We
Do
do
you
roll
do it
call.
in front of us
Yes, ma'am.
tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that'd be nice to know, because, you know, I was even denied your names. I've asked what.
No, our names are all posted on the website through the county.
Yeah, but I asked what govern your function. I've yet to receive an answer. I've been trying to learn a little bit about politics since this all came up. Because this started, no one's mentioned here, that documentation goes all the way back to March that this started. Now, it was kept real quiet, pushed up under the rug, and I got my certified letter on July the 14th. I started calling. Did you know I had 7 county officials to tell me I don't know? I don't know. 10 days later, the chairman calls me. He does have a few answers. But now this is for documentation to go back as far as March that I could find. You know, this has been in the making a long time, and to tell me I don't know, I will be at the 21st meeting too. And I respect all you guys. I've been told you're appointed.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been told that I couldn't touch you, I couldn't contact you, I can't have your email. So it's really nice to meet you tonight.
Same here. Same here.
I ain't got much to say, but
All right, if you'll wait till you step up
Dale
to the
Harris,
podium.
I'm Dale Harris, 1 Alford Road. I'm at the foot of this cross y'all putting up. I'll not be able to walk out of my house. You won't see the tower or the lights. Y'all have heard all the issues. We respect y'all. Y'all all we got. I want you to remember something. You sent out 30 or 31 letters. That's all you sent out. Do the math here. It don't take a rocket scientist. We don't want this thing, and we just look for y'all to do it for us. Help us. Because I know it's right at my back door. I'll be looking right at it. Thank you.
Mike Harris.
Hey, Mike.
I actually live in Jackson County, 2144 Sap Road. But I have family that has own land next to the property. Like that was my dad. My mom, uncles done been up here, cousins. Can we pull up the picture of the 4 satellites, existing satellite, or excuse me, antennas? Can we pull up the picture y'all had of the 4 existing antennas? All right, so what I want to just point out is that if you look at the northwest antenna, it don't look like it's doing much. So how do we know that when if this new one gets put in, is it going to be like that, or is it going to be like that southeastern one? There's no guarantee, obviously. Why don't they try to ramp up that northwestern one, and maybe it would help out a little bit where they need it. But if they want to put it, is it going to look like the northwestern one, or is it going to look like the southeastern one? That's just, signal don't look real good up there, and there's an antenna there already. But that's all I wanted to point out, y'all, to give y'all something to think about. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Beth Melvin, 2093 Gilbertsville Road. I heard that the people here received a letter, a certified letter. Did you send out certified letters?
The planning office did.
Why didn't I get one?
Well, are you within is it 1,500 feet?
I'm about maybe a quarter mile down where you want to put that big antenna.
Okay.
Yeah. 2093 Gilbertsville Road. We have property on the other side of Porter Road with Gilbertsville, and we're on Gilbertsville Road. Check our mailbox every day. When do these letters go out? July 10th. Wonder how many other people didn't get this letter. Thank God my friend and Alford tagged me with this meeting tonight, or else I would have been here. And I'd like to also say something too. Since 1995, I used to drive back and forth from Miami up to our farm and back down to Miami. I've had every kind of cell phone you could imagine. I had Altel. I had Metro PCS. I had VoiceTree. I had Sprint. And the only phone that I've ever had that I didn't have to go outside was the AT&T phone. So I don't know. I don't have a problem talking to anybody in my neighborhood. So I don't need no cell phone tower put up. And Miss Jeanette Forehand made a very good point. That ground, when it gets wet, it's going to drop. I have the whole entire hill from 3 Pond Road coming down on my property. Every time it rains, I can't get a culvert installed. I don't ask for much. But my driveway is like Niagara Falls every time it rains. Now I'm just wondering about this hill coming down to this tower. How is it going to sustain the concrete, the base, how far are they gonna go down to make sure that thing is not gonna come down? Because we've had 2 tornadoes up and down that road, Gilbert's Mill Road. The last one took 2 people out, the Watses, they're no longer with us. And the weather, the Michael that came through there, the tornadoes that have come through there, almost all the trees, I mean, except I've got a lot of trees because I preserve them, but a lot of trees are missing. But ecologically speaking, real estate speaking, I think it'd be a detrimental problem for our community. And that's all I got to say. Hopefully I'll get a letter.
Anyone else? All right. Commissioners have any questions? Chairman will entertain a motion.
I move to deny.
Second.
We have a first and a second to deny. Roll call, please.
You want me to read you the law?
Yes, sir.
Please. Nobody asked, but. The local government, this is Florida statute 365.172, paren D, paren 1. The local government shall deny each properly completed application based upon the applicant's compliant with the local government's regulation, including not limited to development applications located within this section. So you shall not consider the health assets. You can make them comply or assert that they have complied with that. The developer has complied with your land development code. This is a special exception. It's not allowable to use. The thing we denied before was a change of land use where you have more flexibility in doing it. But y'all make the decision. I'm just telling you what the law is.
And the board will make the ultimate decision.
Do what?
The board will make the ultimate decision.
Correct.
Roll call, please.
District 1, Roger Hagan.
Yes.
District 2, Richard Kundy.
No.
District 3, Michelle Cook, excused. District 4, Carl Owens, excused. District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom.
No.
Member at Large Chairman John Gay, excused.
Tie. So it'll still go to the Board of County Commissioners at their next commission meeting, which is
21st.
the 21st.
You-
We could hear, sir. Ma'am.
The vote was a tie, but the recommendation or lack of a recommendation will go before the Board of County Commissioners at their meeting at 9 a.m. on August 21st.
May I ask again the yeas and nays we could not hear, I'm sorry.
Good. Why don't you raise your hand if you voted in favor of the motion, which was to deny. If you voted against the motion, which was, in essence, to approve the application.
All right. So this is just a recommendation to the board. The board makes the final decision. All right.
I want to see something else, please.
We're past that part, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, why don't you put it in falling
Ma'am.
waters? Or,
All right, we're
We
past that.
aren't putting it anywhere. that's the developer. They find the land. There used to be one right up the hill from you on the highway patrol and game and fish and all like that. They've been a tower out there for forever and forever. We don't put them anywhere. We look at land applications and special exceptions and things like that.
All right. Commissioners have any comments?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay.
No, that is, you're moving that agenda?
Moving on the agenda, yes,
Okay.
sir.
I'd like to make a motion or just maybe a request that we get a clock, give it to Jennifer, set 3 minutes if we're gonna have a 3-minute rule, and,
It was on the screen.
On the screen.
okay,
It's real small.
red, that means they was over their time and
Okay.
most
Okay.
of them was.
okay. I'd just like to stick.
I understand.
And stay on the subject. If you
I
wanna
understand.
talk about something else, come to another meeting.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, Madam Planner, staff comments?
So we are going to be updating our land development code, and I provided just a minor draft, so be looking. And that is just a collection of things that have happened over the year or things we found in our day-to-day approvals that, and things that legal, the county attorneys, Mr. Fuquay and Mr. Milton have found that we need to address. So it seems like we've been updating every December. So if there's something that we've forgotten, just let us know. And also the comp plan, I sent that along also. That would have to be adopted by the end of the year according to the state. And so we're doing it in-house and we're just doing the best we can. It's basically going to be a very basic data update. Most of the data I'm running into, it doesn't need revision. I mean, not a lot has changed in 4 years, so we're fortunate in that respect. But we are seeing some changes, as we know, and I'm seeing changes in population, and we're growing. And so we'll just, whatever we finish, September will have to be the transmittal hearing because the state is requiring us to transmit by November 22nd. So at least it'll be transmitted, and then I'll just keep working on the data as I have time. But we have a full plate in September. We've got 5 future land use maps, so small-scale future land use map amendments. And what else? There's something else. Is that
Just the changes.
just that?
The land
Yeah.
development code and-
Yeah, land development code and the comprehensive plan and 5 small-scale flumes, so bring a lunch. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, can I address the attorney?
Mr. Fuquay? Okay.
Let me blow the smoke first. I think we're very fortunate to have Mr. Fuquay as our attorney. Over the years, I've had a chance to visit a lot of county commissions and a lot of other quasi or judicial, and probably as proactive as any I've ever seen. And I appreciate you reading that to us tonight. And in the future, if we have something that we may be going to violation, I'd even appreciate you doing it earlier in the meeting. It bothers me to think that I voted for something that now makes me a law violator. I voted to do that. But if we're gonna advertise a public meeting and people's gonna turn out, whether it's 3 people or 30 people, and their input's not gonna be worth anything when they get here, if I can't vote against them or fight for them, I think, is there any way that we can, I guess, an act of the legislature or something like that be the only way we could change that? I feel like we sit up here for an hour, listening to people, and they could have all been here wanting the tower, but whatever it is, at the end of it, we can't do anything except what, that public hearing gets to be no good.
Can I preach to the choir?
Please. If it's all right with the chairman.
When I first started doing local government law in 1991, when I moved here from Miami, the mantra was local control.
Exactly.
Since that time, the mantra has been either Washington DC control or Tallahassee control or both. Every legislature, there seems to be more and more preemption legislation that preempts local government from acting in what they deem as best, be it in schools, how we teach our children, how our schools are funded, or how you regulate growth in your county.
And I had a slash job. I was the first planner here when the comprehensive plan was adopted in 1976. One of the finest men that I've ever known in my life actually run a campaign one time for county commissioner against the comp plan. Nothing we could do about it but adopt one according to the state. And then we began to hire planners, and thankfully that we did. It's too much of a job for somebody to be the county administrator and the planner, and you don't do a good job. But if there's anything that we can do to make it even, more productive, or I don't even know what words, but I just think that the public deserves better.
All right, the next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Anybody else? All right, the chairman entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move adjournment.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor?
And I will be on my way to Alaska on August 21st. So my partner will be here, so I will try to have him coached up.
Yeah, you and Carl knows when to meet. Carl.